Everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and I'm here at our Sundance studio, which is being sponsored by Rendezvous Capital. Huge thank you to Rendezvous for backing us here. It allows us to support indie cinema and all the different movies and episodics that are playing at Sundance. We also want to give a shout out to LA Wildfire Relief Live, which is an organization that's raising money for the devastation in California from the wildfires. If you do have the ability to donate anything, please visit lawildfirerelief.live. It's a real bad situation out there, and I'm happy to try to raise awareness and money. And now, how are you guys all doing the wedding banquet?
Great.
Good.
We're good.
So
Amazing.
good.
Yeah. Our premieres today.
I was going to say, how honestly, how excited are you for this afternoon? Because this is the culmination of all that work.
Oh, I'm ready. You know, it's interesting. We were just reminiscing about how this project started, and it started here at Sundance with our producers talking, and Anita Guo, one of our producers, had a first conversation with me here at the festival. And so it just feels really special to be premiering the movie here.
So a lot of people are familiar with the Ang Lee film, and so a lot of people know what the story is, but your story is different. And so can you sort of talk about two parts? One, for people that aren't familiar with it, what is it about? And two, what was it about Ang's film and this story that compels you to say, oh, I want to make my version of this?
Yeah, I love the original film. It really holds a special place in my heart. I watched it when I was 8 years old. My mother saw the VHS at a video rental store, and she's like, this is that movie with Asian people that white people are watching. We should see what it's about. And rented it not knowing that it was a queer film. And then we watched it at home with the family. And as a 8-year-old nascent gay boy, it just kind of blew my mind. And it's something where, it's really special to me that my first gay film was The Wedding Banquet, and that, that it was a gay Asian American film. And I really thank, the film for, who I am today, who I am as an artist. And so for those reasons, I kind of didn't want to do the reimagining, and I was scared about it. But then I thought about, so much has changed for the queer community, since 1993. Today, gay people can get married here in the States. And so I thought about, now that we have the option of, that choice, do we want to, should we? And then just thinking about having children, building your family, growing your family, as gay people, we have to be extremely intentional about it. And so any sort of hesitation becomes a giant obstacle. And so for these reasons, I felt like we can make an update to The Wedding Banquet that really speaks to a modern audience. And so the film is about 4 friends, 2 couples living together in Seattle. Lee and Angela are struggling to have a baby through expensive IVF treatments. And the other couple, Chris and Min, are wrestling with this question of marriage. And in order for Min to stay in the country, him and Angela get married in exchange for Min paying for Angela's and Lee's IVF treatments. And then the scheme kind of gets, put to the test because Min's grandmother comes from Korea to plan this elaborate, lavish Korean wedding ceremony. The film is about chosen family. It's about growing your family, and it's about home.
One of the things that I found fascinating was you didn't do any screen tests. And so what was it about? How was it with casting, and when were you confident, oh, this is all worked out, everything is good?
They're just stars, everybody's stars. I think there were conversations, of course. And, I think there's always a bit of a vibe check and, conversation about the characters and about the film, but I think through the script, people understood the kind of spirit of what we were making. And I think understood the kind of feeling of generosity that these characters have with each other that would inform the process.
For all the actors here, I'm sure all of you have read many scripts. What was it about this script and this story and this project that said, I want to spend my time making it, I want to be involved?
when I first read the script, James Shammis, who co-wrote it with Andrew Ahn, gave me the script, and when I first read it, I just thought it was extremely well written. It's so heartwarming. It's situationally funny, but sincere. You don't have to be funny. The four characters in the film, the chosen family, is a very moving story. They fight and they love. And I think ultimately one word, love. And my character is sort of an attention-seeking, clueless, bad mother. And, ultimately she learned a bit from that chosen family, why, the daughter didn't want her as a family, but their chosen family taught me something in the end. So it's a no-brainer. And also I did have some sort of a connection with the first Wedding Banquet, because I met with Ahn, when he first started, when I first arrived in the United States from China. We wanted to do this together, but it took him 8-9 years to raise the funds. And by then it wasn't me anymore. And also I did have a green card marriage myself. So it was all it's close to me.
Great answer.
For me, it's the original film in 1993 was actually before my birth, I was born in 1998, so I couldn't know the Wedding Banquet original film before I met Andrew. So I could just see the main character, which I was auditioning. So I felt Min has a little similar thing in life, for me. Min doesn't have a great support by their family in the character. It was similar to me, when I was young. Parents don't want their kids to be an actor because it's not future's not that bright usually, right? So anyway, yeah. Anyway, so that was a similarity that was a part of it that I wanted to play Min. And also it was a really charming point for me to act in English. This was my first film acting in English, so yeah, and first Sundance, so it was a fantastic ride.
When I first read this script, I was like, there's 4 gay people in the same house? That's crazy. I want to be part of that. And my character, Kendall is Chris's rambunctious party animal cousin who would absolutely die for him. And I feel like it's so sweet because we get to kind of explore this relationship between them and their history and this soft, vulnerable side of Bowen's character. I think Kendall really brings it out of him. And that was such a beautiful moment that we had in one of our scenes as well. Yeah.
Bobo was so good in the audition that we adjusted the character. Kendall used to just be Chris's friend, and then we realized maybe there's a stronger bond and more opportunity if Kendall is Bowen's cousin. And so it was one of those things where I think all of the actors, I wanted to find inspiration from them and find deeper, more profound ways to tell the story and to personalize it, and so that was a really great discovery.
It was really cool when I came in for my callback and I met Andrew. At the very end of my audition, I pulled my phone out and I freestyled for him, freestyle dance, just straight up popping freestyle. And then he was like, "Where'd you learn how to do that?" I was like, "YouTube."
We put it in the movie. It's in the movie.
It's in the movie.
You're a star.
Thank you.
When I first read the script, I think the thing that resonated with me the most was sort of this idea of chosen family and creating a family that maybe might not look like what society has told you it needs to look like. and accepting that and recognizing it's enough, maybe even more than enough. And it really just moved me in so many ways. And to have been on set with all of these incredible people and feel like that came to life was just the greatest gift. So.
Oh, my story is very negative. I didn't even read the script because he sent me the script through his friend, Andrew. And then I was about to say no. Of course, I said no because I don't want to be independent movie again. So I'm 78 years old lady. Like last time I said, I'm not going to struggling with all the young kids. They have a passion and I lived too long. I don't have passion. Getting role is job to me. So, okay, I'm not going to read it because the reading English is giving me headache. So I asked my son to read it, and then my son, the nurse, said, I'm not good at reading script. I'm not expert. So why don't you ask my first son? He's good at it in New York. When you met him, you met my brother.
Yes, your son-in-law.
Son-in-law. Yeah. And he said, no, this script is really good. It meant lot for me. And Bowen Yang is good actor. She mentioned you and Lily Gladstone and everybody. So you should do it. So you cannot beat your children. So okay, I'll do it. So I told Andrew, I'll do it. This is my story.
Oh my God, that's the best.
Bowen, good luck.
Thank you. I can't beat that. But no, I read the script and it just like solved so many things that I had been thinking about in terms of comedy scripts and what gets made and what doesn't get made. And it's an incredible movie that has a million different fulcrums. Like Andrew and James balanced so many relationships, and you really do see like on a small unit level, like between like two characters, I think like there are just the array of relationships in the movie, the way that it braids all of those together was pretty incredible. And it manages to be funny, and it manages to be extremely poignant about what it's saying. And I couldn't believe that like there was just nothing lacking in it. And I feel like I had to say yes.
Yeah, one of the things is when you have this many relationships and this many characters, making each one pop in the under 2 hour screen time is really tricky. But it sounds like you did. I definitely also just want to touch on the importance of films like this, because I do feel like the United States, as much as I fully approve of gay marriage and representation, but it feels like the country is just taking a step backwards. And I just want to say thank you for making a film like this, which reminds people that, I don't want to keep going. It's just really important.
Thank you.
By the way, Andrew, you gave me the lesson. I was never say never. So my promise was after Minari, I'm not going to do any independent movie in my life, but never say never. So I will do it one more time.
Andrew, I'm almost out of time, but I'm fascinated by the editing process. And I know you only shot this in like 25 days. So what was it like in the editing room? How did the film change in ways you didn't expect? Can you talk about it?
Sure. Our editor, Joe Brisson, is a collaborator that I've worked with in the past. And he's so much of a feeler. And, it's the editing process really is kind of trial and error. You put something together, you watch it, and you just have to be so honest about your feelings, and that's really difficult. But through this process of kind of taking risks and then scaling back and then pushing more, and then of course, a notes process with people who've never read the script, and then of course our producers and our distributor. For me, it's just about trying to get as much perspective on the film as possible, especially as a director when you're so close to it. and then knowing kind of when to lean into the emotion, you know, like I think this film wears its heart on its sleeve in a way that I think is, you know, I'm very proud of that, because I think that there are a lot of cynical films out there. There's a lot of trying to be too cool for school, and for me, I think it's actually, you know, more difficult and braver to just, you know, express your emotions, and that is a part of the story of the film, and I felt like we had to do that in the process of making it. And you know, I could not have asked for a better editor. You know, Giraud was just such a you know, he was my rock through the process, and he saw me cry way too many times.
I'm basically out of time, but when I do want to ask you an individual question, it's not on SNL.
Okay.
I want to know what it means to you to be in one of the Best Picture nominees of 2024.
Thank you.
And when did you realize, of course, it was going to be this monster hit? And the last part, are you in Wicked Part 2?
I'll answer in reverse order. I am in Wicked Part 2. Yeah, in a fun capacity. I think my character gets his just desserts. And then when did we realize? I think, gosh, it's so cloying to say this, but like in the making of it, we were just like, it just had the feeling of like a student film. But then I think when I brought a Glinda Lego set to my niece, I think like the fact that like there's like a younger generation that's like reabsorbing this story was kind of incredible to me. I was like, oh, this is something that like has some echo of a Wizard of Oz impact, where it's like it's just intergenerationally meaningful. And what was the first question?
What does it mean to you to be part of a Best Picture nominee?
Well, I mean, I'm no Joan Chen. She's in a Best Picture winner, but I feel like what an honor. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, I could ask you about 1,000 questions. I have them, but I have no. Believe me when I say I have 1,000 questions, but I'm out of time. And there's a lot of individual questions here, but you know what I mean. I really want to say a sincere, I'm so happy for you guys that you made this and that it's at Sundance and that people are going to be able to see it today. And I just wish you guys nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.